What is the most unhelpful and detrimental thing you are probably doing in your search for finally overcoming your sleep problems and insomnia that have been around for a long period of time? This is something that's very, very familiar to me, because when I struggled with my insomnia, I also used to do exactly the same thing. This is why I wanted to talk about this, because once I changed what I'm going to talk about in this video, which is this idea of trying things, so this try or trying mindset, everything started improving in a very sustainable way for me. And this is something that I talk about with clients every single day in my practice as well. Because instead of trying and throwing everything you can find at your sleep problems or insomnia, we're going to find a different way to do it. On its own, this idea of doing your best to really put the things in place that will help you is not a bad thing. But unfortunately, the sleep industry does not do us any favors. There's a lot of general advice. There's a lot of advice on hacks, easy, fast, quick ways to finally overcome your sleep challenges. But the reality of long-term sleep problems, and especially insomnia, is that quick, easy and fast ways do not often even scratch the surface of what you need to do in order to really sleep well again consistently. So in this video, we're going to break this down a little bit. I'm going to talk about the mindset itself, how it plays out in different situations, and we're actually going to work through a couple of steps that you can take instead, so you are in a better position to finally really make progress in overcoming your sleep problems and insomnia as well, that have been around for a longer period of time. Now, those of you who are part of my community, then welcome back. If you are new and this is perhaps the first video that you've seen me talking about sleep problems and insomnia, then welcome. My YouTube channel and my free email community is really designed to untangle some of these things that I see in my practice and help you to start somewhere where you can really build a plan. I am a sleep coach, a professional speaker, and the creator of the Sleep Skills for Life program. And I don't do trying in my practice. We really establish what's working, what's not working, and build on the stuff that actually really works and delivers consistent results. So that is the difference between just randomly trying a bunch of things and actually really creating a plan that will give you results, that will actually provide you with the appropriate things depending on your sleep challenges. Now, if you are interested in these kind of things and really overcoming the sleep problems you're struggling with, then I invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. And once you watch this video and you liked what I talked about and you've taken something away from the video, then hit that like button below. This just really helps me to really create content that is going to be sustainably helping you to finally figure out these different ways that you can actually make progress in your sleep journey. Now that we covered that, let's actually start talking about why this trying mindset is so detrimental and unhelpful. When I struggled with in my insomnia, I did the same thing. So I completely understand often where we get to a place when we just are willing to try anything. We are willing to put ourselves into different things, try different things, actually really keep searching, keep researching. And the problem with that I see in my practice is, in today's world, we have a lot of access to a lot of very, very general things. I often frequently get asked about sleep positions, which pillow is the best, all those very superficial things. But most of the long-term insomnia and sleep problem cases that I see, those tips are not even going to scratch the surface of the real root cause of the problem, why it either started or the reasons why you're not able to overcome it for a period of time or over a period of time. So the first thing I'd like you to do is shift from a trying mindset to a practical and sustainable and more strategic plan-based mindset. What do I mean by that? Instead of looking at things and just trying a couple of things over a period of 2, 3, 4 days, which is normally what happens with clients, actually first look at the real root cause of the problem. Now, a lot of the times that I see in my practice, that is one of the bits that are often missing. The reason some of these things you might be trying and doing your best to really put in place appropriate things are not even really appropriate to the problem. So for example, if your overactive mind keeps you awake when you actually get into bed, for example, reading is only going to delay that process. Reading is not really appropriate to the overactive mind problem, because if you're always like that and you just read for 20 minutes, and this might be your experience as well, once you stop reading, often what happens is your mind becomes overactive again. So it was not appropriate to the actual root cause of the problem. So this is one of the things that is quite obvious to me when I work with clients who are typically sort of more overactive in their mind. And that's something that I struggled with as well. So I'm very familiar with that problem. Now, instead of trying, what you need to really do is put in place more practical things. Put in place things that are appropriate to what the problem is. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be able to give you what most articles give you is the 5 steps to, or 5 secrets to, or the fastest way or the easiest way, because the reality is that long-term sleep problems and insomnia take time. It takes you to be able to really commit to doing the right things that are appropriate for you in order to really achieve that sustainable result. And in this YouTube video, I'm not going to be able to give you that, because every single person has a slightly different combination of issues that needs to be addressed in order to really help the person overcome it. But that's the first part, is really that self-awareness to get to the root cause of the problem. Then the next one is shifting away from the trying mindset. You actually really pick one thing rather than a couple of things at the same time. And often this is where doubt and frustrations and disappointments come in, when you have tried so many different things and you probably even have either a drawer full of things or a cupboard full of things that you purchased or you've experimented with. And you might actually be trying different things, different nights, and you're not sure which one is actually sustainably working for you. Now, to move away from that, what you really need to do is first start with what has delivered consistent results already. If you have put in place a bunch of things and 1 or 2 of them seem to have made a better and more positive difference, then you want to actually really figure out how sustainable those good things are. Instead of using all the bits and pieces, really start with establishing that. What has consistently given you results? And keep those ones, and move away from the ones that don't really give you sustainable results, because those are the ones that often create a lot of doubt, a lot of frustration, and that means that you're not relaxed when you're actually either going to bed or maybe in the middle of the night when you are desperately trying to put something in place. That's often already too late if you have not addressed the appropriate thing prior to going to bed. So double down on the things that have created results. But another thing that I see with clients is that they might double down on the things that worked, but they still do too many different things at the same time. And they're not really sure exactly which one impacts their sleep in which way. And this is where we're going to this next step, is measure. Don't just measure over 1 night, 2 nights, 3 nights. What I do with my clients is, once we establish what is working and we want to double down on something, we actually really put in place 7 to 10 to 14 days of measurement time. That means you're doing the same thing around the same time, and we then look at measuring the results of how that changes or impacts you on a daily basis. This is where, depending on root cause of the sleep problem, the outcomes might actually change depending on what that tool or technique that you're measuring. But that's okay, because then you get to really understand which situations it's actually more appropriate and which situations it's actually probably not as appropriate. But at least you know for sure, rather than trying or guessing, where it's applicable. And the way I do that in my practice is through sleep diary. Now, a lot of the sleep diaries out there often don't combine this measurement and intelligence. What you need is the intelligence of knowing what you can completely rely on 100% confidently. Okay? Now, the way I do the sleep diary is really my own design. So through the Sleep Deep method, when I designed the methodology, I really designed the way to really appropriately measure and help you to be in the best position to be able to really understand what's working and what's not working. But that's what you really want to look for. Instead of trying, you want to understand exactly how negatively or positively that thing is impacting your sleep. Okay? And this is over a period of time. 1 or 2 nights or 3 nights is not even going to scratch the surface, because often when you do use something, or maybe this is something new that you put in place, it takes time for the body to actually even embrace it. So doing it one time is often not even going to scratch that surface, because you haven't really allowed the body and the mind to embrace this change. So that's where the 7, 10, or ideally 14 days come in. The longer you do the same thing at the same time and measure the outcome, the more intelligence you're going to have of how helpful is it and how effective is it. Okay? So these are the steps that I often take through with my clients. We work through these things. First of all, you really leave that behind, that idea of trying, and you really establish the real root cause of the problem. Then you really look at what are the things that already has helped you, already has created some sort of an outcome, and you then double down and measure on that one. I wouldn't even ask you to put in place new things until you really figure out what are some of those things that are already working for you. That's where I start with my clients. We really look at baselines. We look at what are the things that are helping, what are the things that are not helping, and then we build on the ones that are helpful and the appropriate. So I really hope that this video has helped you to move away from this trying mindset that I see is so detrimental. This mindset will create a lot of doubt. When you're trying but not able to succeed in really making some progress, it can be very disheartening. It can be very disappointing, frustrating. And I remember even the times when I got so angry after trying so many things that were just not working. I've seen different clients with different kind of situations, but unfortunately this trying mindset actually really creates doubt. It doesn't create confidence in knowing how you can overcome your long-term insomnia and sleep problems. So I really hope that this video has helped you to understand the reasons I'm inviting you to leave behind this idea of trying, and really encourages you to put the practical things in place, put this measurement, the intelligence gathering in place, so that you are in the best position to be able to really finally see your sleep change over a period of time. But it's not a quick thing. It's not based on hacks, fast and quick ways. It's being able to really develop that idea of what's helping me and what's hindering me to be able to really sleep well night after night. So thank you so much for watching. I really encourage you to have patience and put that work in. It's really always great to see for me when a client puts that work in and actually really measures these things and puts the right things in place, because that will be the things that will help you to really create that plan to build upon, to really overcome your sleep problems and insomnia that has been around for a long period of time, just like I have. When I overcame my insomnia, there wasn't sleep coaches around. I had to really do all the bits and pieces to be able to design that plan to finally sleep well no matter what happens during the day. So thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button below if you have enjoyed this, and make sure that you actually do something about it. Work on this idea of leaving the trying mindset behind and embracing the more practical and sustainable way to really move forward, because I know that's really going to help you to make progress and see change and get excited about what is possible when you start seeing your sleep improve. So thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.